Hello, friends. I know it's been a while. I am here solo for now because Ollie is cutting it close. And my guest for today, I wanted to give you a shout out, Barbara. I'm sorry for all the things that's going on. I know it's been a crazy few days for Tallahassee, and then also just, you personally, and for those of you who don't know, Barbara Wescott, founder of Women Wednesdays, and then as well as other businesses that she's run in town. But Women Wednesdays for sure has been one of her signature businesses, and she's done a lot for our community. She's just been going through a lot in the last few months personally, just with recent loss of loved ones, and then also just some health scares. So please take care of yourself and do your best to just recuperate, and then we'd love to have you on next time. We'll definitely have her on so that we can talk about like her passion for supporting women in our community, and how Women Wednesdays continues to do what it does, which is putting women on a platform to be able to speak and talk about all kinds of topics, from business to nonprofit organizations, and then educational topics and tips to help women grow in their careers and in their business journey. So looks like Ollie made it just in the nick of time. Yes,
I'm running. I'm running to make
it. You made it.
Where's Barbara?
I know. I know.
She
sent me a late. She had a little bit of a health scare, so she's
is she
getting,
okay?
Yeah, she's looking into it, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We're still gonna have her on, when she's ready, and so
we'll check on her as soon as we can.
Yes, exactly. And so I know last week we had to skip it just because of a lot of things going on, and I'm glad we did, because man,
did you
how
lose
was everything
power?
on your side?
Did you lose power?
Just one day or less than a day.
Nice.
So we were lucky. And then thankfully no damage to property.
Nice. We didn't lose power, but I know so many of my friends that lost power and had trees falling in their backyards and had trees falling on their ceilings.
Oh no.
It was a very narrow line where the tornado hit, and it was apparently just for like half an hour, but it made so much destruction. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, because we've gotten hit by some hurricanes, and they're supposed to be. It's just weird how hurricanes work. You get like a 3 to 4 day warning, which is nice, right? So everyone can prepare.
Yeah.
It's stressful, and then you just don't know where the center is going to hit. The center is when it gets that's where the real damage is. And then with tornadoes, you just don't know they're going to show up.
But dude, with the hurricane last year, we were lucky.
Yeah.
Had it been 20 miles to the left,
right?
Oh my God, it would have been a completely different story for Tallahassee. 20 miles.
Exactly.
Nothing more, nothing less. Just 20
Same
miles.
thing with Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
That one was it was targeting Tallahassee. They were forecasting it to hit Tallahassee, and then it took a last minute turn. Yeah. And I think we're all just like, when it actually hits, or if it actually hits, fingers crossed, we've just been lucky for hurricanes, but this tornado hit us directly. And unfortunately more, the path along the way that hit, the next day or that day, it was a blur, because obviously it hit 7 a.m. That's when all the alarms hit. Right. So then I was thinking, oh, okay, our side of town didn't seem so bad. But then when I started driving through and I saw all the trees and everything snapped in half, and I even had to, I'm here at Innovation Park, there's trees down everywhere. Yeah. And we're lucky. So I'm glad your family's safe.
You guys, it's not that far. Innovation Park, it was very close to the line. Anyway.
I didn't see, did you see the map and the path and everything?
Yeah, I saw it. A friend of mine showed it to me, and I think I'm not sure if I have it. I'll share it with you as soon as I have it. But basically, it was very clear. It was like two tornadoes that are coming from the west to the east, and basically they joined into one, and then they continued. It was a very narrow path,
It's
but
crazy.
anything in that path, wow,
Was
they
destroyed.
had it.
Yeah, Railroad Square. I saw the pictures. Did you see Visit Tallahassee? The building, like it's sad. They just got renovations.
Yeah, I know.
The ceiling
And
got ripped off.
I saw huge trees just sideways with all of the roots up. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
must have been like so strong. Like one day I was just trying to get rid of a very small tree. It took so much power. So
Small tree.
okay, no worries. Okay, we're getting distracted from content and valuable
I mean,
content.
this is the current.
This is the definition of not valuable content.
Well, this is what's we're like. This is relevant. It's what's happening here locally.
True. So,
You know, it would be like, I think it would be heartless if we don't even talk about it and address it.
okay.
But yes, no, I understand. Yeah, valuable content. There's so much content out there now, and so you really like. There's more effort now. Like you can, there's other folks like starting YouTube channels a year ago or 2 years ago, putting more effort into the value and the quality of videos, and then they might have maybe 20 or less than 100 videos, and they're already getting a ton of subscribers because they invest in the value. Whether it's the education or it's the quality, you know, of the production, and
or
so,
how weird the title is.
right? Yes, the virality of it, a controversial topic.
I think content is just getting more and more packed, and it depends on what kind of content are you talking about. The way that you will make it more valuable or stand out more will differ. Like, for example, if it's about entertainment, maybe like catchy titles will help with virality. If it's for kids, then maybe, I don't know, music and how fast paced it will be very important for it. Like
Cocomelon.
Yeah, exactly.
Just put Cocomelon in there.
Magic.
ASMR. For some reason, my daughter loves ASMR.
Okay. Yeah, and people
and
will
putty.
But you see how there is niches now.
Yeah.
There is very specific niches, and every niche is different. Every niche has its audience. Every niche has its value. Some of it is important because of the number of subscribers or the number of viewers, but others are important just because of the quality of the viewers or the quality of the audience, which is different. Like, and so for each, you should have a different marketing strategy for each. What is valuable for one audience is not valuable for another audience. Just understand your audience more, and then you can understand what is more valuable for them. For example, if we're talking about business audience, their time is probably valuable. They want to save as much time as possible. They want to cut all of the noise. They want to understand the fact or the absolute most important recommendations. They want to get to the bottom of things, not necessarily all the fluff or how it sounds and whatnot. So that's why probably things that are summarized is important. That's why we think our summaries are important.
Yeah.
Again, you can see it in a different way. For example, in stocks and newsletters that are specific about stocks and whatnot. Most of these are for subscriptions, for money. But basically, what they offer is, this is like professional advice. This is professional analysis. Basically, that's what you're paying for. And regardless of how the audience doesn't have to be big, it's a small audience, but they're specialized. They understand the value of that kind of information, and they're willing to pay for it as well. Yeah. So it's important. I think just the overall key message: understand your audience. You will understand what is the maximum value that you can provide to them.
It's really true. And it's pretty much like what people are looking for. One of the things that was interesting, this reminds me of an interview I was listening to where I believe it was the co-founder of Netflix, or he was definitely an executive, like definitely, he might be the current. He might be the current CEO of Netflix, where he said one of the threats that he considered to Netflix was YouTube, because the volume of content and the quality of content that YouTube was starting to have. So, and that was interesting because like they obviously have proven already they won the streaming race compared to all the other platforms, but they're still like competing with all of these other, you're competing for attention. So they're competing with social media platforms for attention, and YouTube is one of them. And now we're seeing like, people are willing to spend, if the quality of content is there, they're willing to spend hours on YouTube, to listen to whatever podcast there is. I mean, comedies are on there. They're killing it on in the comedy space there and getting publicity there. And recently, I'm just going to say, because if you're into comedy, you'll know, like the recent roast of Brady. Tom Brady, you heard about that, right?
So much attention.
That, I have to say, and all the vulgarity aside, but it was a well-produced show. Like that, like you just don't see that anywhere. You just don't see. And not only that, you had a lineup of like up and coming, comedians, and then you had a well done lineup of like athletes. These athletes who don't do comedy did a pretty good job.
Yeah, no,
right. So it sounds like you watched it.
No, I haven't, but it's on my list. But just the reactions the second day in the gym about them, like, and they don't like when they talk about it in the gym, and it takes time. Like, actually, it was something that made a hit that everyone watched it at the same time. So it's definitely on my watch list as well. But you see, I love what you talked about in terms of how Netflix defines its competition. And that's actually very important when it comes to a business. Like, you can define your competition depending on what you define your business as. Like what you said is very important. If they define their competition as streaming only or TV only, this will be so outdated and so out of touch in reality, with reality. What they're competing with on is attention. So that sense, yes, even X is probably their competition. Even TikTok is competition. Even YouTube is competition. This makes it more realistic, and this makes them develop in different ways. But Netflix is killing it. Netflix, I believe, is one of the most interesting case studies to learn from, because they flip things around. They redefine how media is made. Like, the way movies used to get made is basically there is some artists out there who understand what probably will succeed in the future. They're visionaries, and they will go and they will make amazing movies like Titanic, and like and these will be big hits in the box office and whatnot. But what Netflix did probably took that magical aspect out of it and started to look at data. What are people watching? When do they stop watching? For how long? What kind of topics are they more interested in? What kind of subjects? What kind of movies? What kind of superstars are people interested in? And based on that data, they started making movies. And boom, what a success that was. If you want to talk about success, we can talk about different types of success. You want to talk about numbers, they have the numbers. You want to talk about subscriptions, people are willing to pay for their content. You want to talk about Academy Awards. Some years they won the most nominations and the most nominations and the most awards out of everything. So they figured it out. But not only they figured it out, but they redefined the rules. And I think now they're doing something very interesting with their and the way they're going for live events. It includes the comedy roast. There's something that is coming up that is very important as well, which is basically the big fight between Mike Tyson and the YouTuber. Yes. I think this is probably going to be big as well, but we will see. But Netflix is amazing, and it just shows you that it's not about saying something nice about Netflix only, but it's about learning a lesson of how using data can be important and can be useful for your business and can help you take out some of the biggest companies that probably you've always thought these are giants, no one can take them out. No, it can happen. Just some brain, some data. People used to say data
They're
is
beating Disney.
huh?
They're beating Disney.
They're beating Disney. Who can beat Disney? Disney everything. They have parks, they have ships,
Yeah.
they have TV, they have ESPN, they have everything, and still someone can come out of nowhere and actually challenge them. That's amazing. So people, look at your data, look at ways that you can use data for your advantage and for you for your new products, and innovate. And it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up data, because that could be another good topic, because that is true. Like, that's where Netflix really has a lot of value too, is that their technology, the technology behind it all, and the analytics and the data that they have. And I really wonder how they set up their algo based on the user, the algorithm. And sometimes I'm like, why do they push this content to me? I don't like it. So I like how you can say, dislike or like. So I think it's starting to get better. But obviously audiences really like comedy. Right now it's like post-COVID era, 4 years after, people are going through mental, you could say a mental roller coaster, so there's ups and downs, but people want they want to laugh. People are dealing with everything, and comedy is just, on the rise again. And man, that there was some. I just kudos to Tom Brady for going through that roast, because there was some harsh jokes. And I just can't believe.
Yeah.
I was like, just shocked. But and then as far as quality goes, back to like Apple Plus has been. They don't have volume, but they do have quality content, and they've had a lot of awards for some of their shows, or series, and their movies. Their original content too that they're producing is pretty amazing. So yeah, I know this is more like entertainment space, but
the big players are remaining big. The ones especially who can still like innovate. I don't know. HBO is just amazing. I don't know how they do it. I'm not that, but they're doing it. And they keep doing it over and over, and I think they still
Amazon too.
Amazon
with
is
their content.
I don't know if Amazon is at the same level of success, but Amazon is trying its best, and it's
As
putting
far
a
as
lot
content,
of money behind it. But content is really interesting, and the way you use data, but data can be very tricky. The easiest thing that can happen to data when you look at it is that if you look at too much, you can get lost. You don't know what is valuable versus what is not valuable. And I think so. I used to work with a data scientist for a while, and he used to tell me cleaning the data is the most important step.
Oh.
So it's not just about analyzing, because you can collect all kinds of information, but what is important versus what is not? What are outliers versus what is actual behavior? This can be very tricky. Like, for example, let's talk about Netflix. Let's continue talking about Netflix. So we're talking about data to movie watching. I'm sure there is millions of things. There's at least hundreds of different attributes that they can look at. But it's very clear that they focused on things that will help them in what do I produce next. So, for example, they looked at what superstars are being watched. Like, you can tell when you watch Netflix that for some reason people like Kevin Hart, and Netflix is pushing more Kevin Hart to them.
Yeah.
Like, for people like comedy, so they're pushing more comedy. Not only pushing, but also producing more comedy to them, which is a bigger decision, because now you have to pay for a lot of people, and you have to make the movie, and it's like 8 months in advance or years in advance, and you still have to make that investment. But they're doing it, and so I think they're looking at the right data points, not just looking at data in general. And that is an important challenge. For example, if you have a retail place, if you're in a restaurant, like, you have all kinds of data when you look at the purchases that have happened. I don't know, average basket size. What are people ordering? When are people ordering it? Like, Is there any complaints? What kind of complaints? Like, there is so much data that you can follow, but which ones are the important ones versus which ones you should ignore according to your goals is a very, very important step of analyzing data. And that one will require some kind of an art and some kind of a connection between the data and what is your vision, so you can pick the right data to go after and how to improve it, etc.
Yeah, and I mean, just thinking about other types of content, documentaries are doing really well. I feel like that's the other thing that you would think like, oh, it's such a boring kind of, production project as far as, or even just to consume back then, how they used to make it. But now they're so well done. It's like the quality of, like, for example, a true crime series, or even just a story of, like, traumatic experience for somebody. But you're just engulfed in the story. And not only that, the quality of the filming and just the writing and how they produce the entire thing. It's just, documentaries to me have been done so well, especially on Netflix. So
I agree, right? They improved it. Like, they redefined documentaries again. Like, people loved documentaries, but they were done in such boring ways. And all of a sudden, Netflix almost redefined that. And all of a sudden, these documentaries are on the charts. They're like number 1 and number 2, both as shows that are different episodes and both as movies. So it's, again,
I mean,
they're connecting the different data points.
Yes. And even the fine dining docu-series of, like, Chef's Table, just like that.
Yeah.
That is tremendous. Like, highlighting these chefs all over the world, award-winning Michelin stars.
We were addicted to these shows for a while. Even Hind, my daughter, was so into it, and now she wants me to pay for courses for her to learn how to. Okay, and not everything turns out. Yeah, so she's really into it. And by the way, we're talking to sponsors. So Tallahassee Foodies, sponsor us. Give me support for my daughter. We got you. Got you. We'll push people towards you anyway. Maybe we'll get something for free. No, but yeah, I promised her that soon we're gonna go to a sushi making course. Hopefully, whenever.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah. Okay, well, I know it's been a while. Like, we've touched on, like, so speaking of quality content, I'm starting to bump into people that I didn't meet before. They're saying they're signed up. Like, they either heard about it through a friend, or they saw me.
Julia is enjoying the fame now.
No.
So
no. Well, here's the thing. It's not. No, I'm just saying it's encouraging to see that they said, "Oh, I read it a lot."
I told you.
And they said it's saving them so much time.
You see its impact. You see it. I agree. And that's nice. This is what kept us going in Jareed, and this is what's gonna keep you going. And I like it when you say it. You say it, by the way, when you say it, your whole face is shining. That's good. Yeah, that's nice.
Well, it keeps me going, but I would love for the list to grow. We need to, and
it will, and it should. It will and it should. We will take some. We will talk about some of the challenges offline, but it will and it should. And yes. No, I agree. And it will happen. Julie, just believe me when I say this.
I believe it.
Because I have been in that situation. I've been in 8 months where this was all I was trying to do. My advice will be one thing: try different things, not the same thing again and again. Try different things. Mm-hmm. And once you try 10 distinctly different things, one of them will hit. And then start drilling on that thing that hits. I think so far we did not diversify. What do we try much? Mm-hmm. But anyway, we will do, and we will discuss it, and it will happen.
I mean, I think people are. The other thing too, speaking of data, is we don't have the added feature of, like, analysis or the reports. We could manually pull the numbers, mm-hmm. And just see, like, what are people clicking on, what are people finding interest in. Open rates are still within the same range.
Nice.
And so, like, but I have noticed, like, every time I go to an event, I get more subscribers. They either want to learn more or they want to, enter for the prize. So that has worked for us. But at the same time, I think, we do have some mock-ups ready for ads, so we can start doing that. And I know that you're waiting on me for some things for the landing page if we were to do like an actually full one website. So yeah. And what's it called? What's that other platform?
Beehive.
Yes, they finally got to me, and apparently it has to do with like my VPN or something. I have to they have like a very secure. I guess there's some, if they detect that there's some kind of VPN or something, like it prevents it from happening. But so I have to do something to take an extra step to do that. So I think they're just trying to keep it secure. But I'll tell you more later.
Nice. Do we have awards today or not?
Yes. Let me do the drawing. Let me do the drawing.
Yes.
Here, let me share my screen. I'm glad you brought that up because I did have it open. It's just I almost window. Here, let's do the drawing because there's so many things. Like, what was it? There's a few. There's the TLH Reckoning season has kicked off. Tallahassee Soccer Club has kicked off. We still have Ruvos's wellness package that they would love to give, and then.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and then I want to do a special drawing today because UPHS, like I attended their conference. So many people passed through my table. I think I met 50 plus people, and I said at my table that we can give away a webcam. So I'll have to do that. I'll make an announcement later because I have different names pulled up. So let me just go ahead and do this name pool. Let me see here. This is a different name pool. And this is our regular weekly drawing, and I will announce it later for UPHS so that we have the right names. And here we go. Drum roll. Boom, boom. Mona Lisa, congratulations. You've won our weekly drawing. And I know because
what was the prize? Is this the webcam or the webcam is next time?
No, that I'm going to do because there's a specific prize for the UPHS attendees. So I'm going to do that separately. We got to pull their names, but yeah.
Okay.
So
this was nice. This was fun. I like the topic. I like data. I like talking about Netflix. Thank you for bringing the most important topics, both in the newsletter and in these videos.
Yes, and I'm glad you can make it, Ali. I know it's been busy for you too.
I'm so sorry I was late. I was just from a meeting. I really had to cut it short.
You've been more late before, so you were only just 1 minute behind. You're good.
Oh, okay. So I didn't have to apologize. I apologize for nothing.
It worked out. All right. So we'll just go. I'll see you on the other side.
Yep.
All right. I'll be right there.